The galaxy was quiet that morning. Too quiet. Admiral Zara Chun stood on the bridge of the mining vessel Rockhammer and watched the stars through the viewscreen. For 20 years, humanity had played the perfect role. Weak, harmless, just another species digging up asteroids for the Galactic Empire. The Krellian Empire controlled everything. 300 star systems, 1,000,000 warships. Species across the galaxy bowed to their might or faced extinction. When humans first met the Krellians 50 years ago, Earth's leaders made a choice. Fight and die, or pretend to be worthless and live. They chose to live. And to plan? Admiral, we're approaching the construction site, whispered Lieutenant Torres. Even here, in the deepest void between stars, they kept their voices low. The Empire had spies everywhere. Zara nodded. Take us in slow. Mining speed. The rock hammer drifted forward, its worn hull and outdated engines making it look exactly like what the Empire expected. A pathetic human mining ship, barely worth noticing. But inside, the most advanced scanning equipment humanity had ever built hummed with power. Dropping cloak in 3, 2, 1. Space itself seemed to ripple. Where there had been nothing but darkness, something impossible appeared. Zara's breath caught in her throat, even though she'd seen it a dozen times before. Jupiter Station floated before them. Not a space station, not a moon base. An entire artificial planet, the size of Earth itself, bristling with weapons that could crack worlds in half. Construction is at 98%, reported Chief Engineer Park. The final weapon systems go online next month. Zara allowed herself a small smile. Jupiter Station was just one of 5. Mercury Station, Mars Station, Neptune Station, and Pluto Station waited in the darkness, each one a planet-sized fortress of destruction. For 20 years, humanity had strip-mined entire solar systems in secret, hauling resources to hidden construction sites. The Empire thought humans were mining for them. Every ton of, or supposedly went to Krellian foundries. The truth was beautiful in its simplicity. For every 100 tons delivered to the Empire, humanity kept 10,000. Hollowed-out asteroids became storage facilities. Dead planets were carved up and reformed. Ancient human stubbornness and creativity focused on a single goal. "Ma'am, incoming transmission from Earth Command," said Communications Officer Williams. "Put it through." The face of General Morrison appeared on the secure channel. The old soldier looked tired but determined. "Admiral Chun, the Council has made its decision. 20 years of hiding ends soon. How's our baby looking?" "Jupiter Station is nearly ready, General. Give us 6 weeks, and we'll have the most powerful warship in galactic history. ×5. "The Krellians are getting suspicious," Morrison said. "Their tax collectors noticed discrepancies in our mining reports. We may not have 6 weeks. Zara's jaw tightened. "Then, we'll make do with what we have. The stations can fight at 98% capacity if needed. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. How's the crew?" "Eager, sir. 20,000 of our best on each station. They've been training in secret for years. When the time comes, they'll be ready." Morrison nodded slowly. "The Krellians have no idea what we've built out here. They still think our biggest ship is that ancient battlecruiser we keep parked at Earth for show. The one that can barely fly." Zara laughed. "While they laugh at our mighty fleet, we've built something that will make their entire armada look like toys. Pride comes before the fall, Admiral. Stay sharp." "Always, sir." The transmission ended. Zara turned to her bridge crew. These 20 men and women knew the secret. They'd helped build humanity's hidden strength. Soon, the whole galaxy would know. "Take us inside," she ordered. "I want to inspect the main weapon personally." The Rockhammer approached Jupiter Station's hidden docking bay. As they drew closer, the sheer scale became overwhelming. The docking bay alone could hold 1,000 ships. The station's surface was covered in weapon emplacements, shield generators, and armor plating 3 miles thick. This wasn't just a warship. It was a mobile fortress designed to fight entire fleets alone. Inside the station, Zara walked through corridors wide enough to drive tanks through. Soldiers saluted as she passed. These weren't the weak humans the Empire knew. These were warriors who'd trained in secret, learning tactics and weapons the Krellians couldn't imagine. The main weapon control room was the size of a sports stadium. At its center, a massive hologram showed the weapon itself. The Planet Cracker, a gun so powerful it could punch through a world's core and split it apart. We've tested it on dead worlds in the void, explained Weapons Chief Singh. One shot can destroy a planet. We have 50 of these guns on each station. 50 planet-killing weapons on each of 5 stations, Zara said quietly. 250 shots that can end worlds. The Krellians have nothing like this. Because they never thought they needed it, Singh replied. Who builds planet killers when you already rule everything? They have quantity. We have quality. In surprise, Zara added, the most important weapon of all. She thought about Earth. Beautiful, blue Earth, playing its role as a weak mining world. The Krellian governor there had no idea that beneath the planet's surface, factories worked day and night. Shipyards hidden in hollowed mountains. Training facilities disguised as mines. An entire civilization preparing for war while pretending to be slaves. The Empire had made one crucial mistake. They'd judged humanity by their technology when first contact was made. Humans have been spacefaring for barely a century. The Krellians had ruled for 1,000 years. It seemed obvious who was superior, but they'd never asked the right questions. How had humanity survived on a world with limited resources? How had they gone from horses to spacecraft in just 200 years? What kind of species could split the atom, walk on their moon, and dream of the stars while still fighting wars with itself? A stubborn one, a clever one, a dangerous one. Admiral, Lieutenant Torres appeared at her side. We've received word from the other stations. All report similar readiness levels. Neptune Station actually finished their planet crackers ahead of schedule. Good. And our conventional weapons. Each station carries 30,000 fighter craft, 10,000 bombers, and 5,000 assault shuttles. Our shields can take direct hits from Krellian dreadnoughts. Our armor uses technology they've never seen. Zara walked to the observation window. Outside, the rockhammer looked tiny against Jupiter Station's bulk. Soon, they wouldn't need to hide anymore. Soon, the galaxy would learn what humanity had been building in the dark. Ma'am, Williams called out, urgency in his voice. Priority alert from Earth. Krellian tax collectors have arrived early. They're demanding a full audit of our mining operations. The room went silent. Everyone knew what this meant. The Empire was suspicious. If they looked too closely, they might notice the missing resources, the hidden facilities, the impossible truth that humanity had been building a war machine under their noses. How long before they expect the audit? Zara asked. 3 days, ma'am. Earth Command is stalling, but 3 days isn't enough time to hide 20 years of secret construction. Zara finished. She looked around the room at her officers. Young faces, determined faces. They'd trained for this moment, even if it came too soon. Send word to all stations, she commanded. Begin final preparations. If the Krellians discover our secret, we'll need to fight before we're ready. Should we power up the weapons? Singh asked. Not yet. Powering up the planet crackers would light us up on every sensor in the galaxy. We stay dark until we have no choice. She paused. But have all crews report to battle stations. Quietly, as her orders went out, Zara thought about the irony. The Krellians had conquered the galaxy through overwhelming force. They'd never faced a real challenge. They'd grown comfortable, lazy, secure in their power. Humanity had been forged in challenge. Every advancement earned through struggle. Every victory paid for in blood and sweat. While the Empire rested on its throne, humanity had been busy building a hammer big enough to shatter it. The next 3 days would determine everything. Either humanity's secret would hold a little longer, or the war would begin early. Either way, the galaxy was about to change forever. Zara returned to the Rockhammer's bridge. They needed to get back to Earth to coordinate with command. As the mining vessel pulled away from Jupiter Station, the massive warship vanished again behind its cloak. Invisible, waiting, ready. The Empire had no idea what was coming. They thought they owned humanity. They thought their power was absolute. They were about to learn that humans had a saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And the Krellian Empire was very, very big. Tax collector Vrockies hated visiting human worlds. They smelled wrong. Too much water in the air. Too many growing things. The Krellians had evolved on a proper desert world, where life knew its place and stayed there. These human worlds, especially Earth, were chaos. Green chaos. Bring me the mining reports, he commanded, his 4 arms clicking with irritation. The human administrator, A pathetic creature named David Park scrambled to obey. Of course, Lord Vrakis. Right away. The reports are extensive. They'd better be. The Empire has noticed irregularities. Production numbers that don't match. Or shipments that seem light. Vrakis leaned forward, his black eyes reflecting the human's terrified face. The Empire does not like irregularities. Park nodded frantically, sweat beading on his pink skin. Disgusting. I assure you, Lord Vrakis, everything is in order. Humanity lives to serve the Empire. We shall see. Vrakis had brought his best auditors. 3 Krellian mathematics experts who could smell deception in numbers the way predators smell blood. If the humans were cheating the Empire, they would find it. The audit center was set up in New York, in what the humans call the United Nations building. Another irritation. The humans insisted on keeping their old governments, their old symbols, even though they all answer to the Empire now. The Krellians allowed it, because it made no difference. A slave with a fancy title was still a slave. My lord, Senior Auditor Thek approached, holding a data pad. We've begun examining the mining records. There are interesting patterns. Explain. The humans report extracting approximately 1 million tons of ore per day across all their operations. Yet their equipment manifests suggest they have the capacity for much more. Perhaps 10 times as much. Vrakis' mandibles clicked thoughtfully. Mining equipment breaks down. Humans are notoriously bad at maintenance. Perhaps, my lord. But the breakdown rates are remarkably consistent. Every mine reports exactly the same efficiency loss. It's almost as if they're lying. Vrakis finished. He turned to Park, who had gone very pale. Tell me, Administrator, why do all your mines operate at exactly 10% efficiency? The equipment is old, Lord Vrakis. Human technology isn't as advanced as Krellian. We do our best, but bring me the maintenance records. All of them. For every mine on this planet. Park's assistant, a woman named Sarah Chun, stepped forward. That will take time to compile, Lord Vrakis. Perhaps we could start with a sample. Vrakis studied her. Unlike Park, she didn't smell of fear. Interesting. You have 1 day to produce all records. If I find any missing, I will assume you're hiding something. The penalty for defrauding the Empire is death. For your entire species. Understood, my lord. Chun bowed precisely. We'll have everything ready. As the humans scurried away, Thek moved closer. My lord, something else troubles me. The orbital traffic reports show many ships coming and going from Earth. But our tracking stations in this system only log a fraction of that number. Ghost ships, or ships using routes our stations don't monitor. The humans claim to use only approved shipping lanes, but they could be flying through deep space, avoiding our checkpoints. Vrakis felt his warrior instinct stirring. In his youth, before becoming a tax collector, he'd been a soldier. He knew the smell of deception. Double the audit team. I want every number checked, every ship tracked, every grain of or accounted for. Yes, my lord. That night, Vrakis stood on the balcony of his quarters, looking up at the stars. Somewhere up there, human ships moved through the void. Carrying what? Going where? The Empire controlled the hyperspace gates, the fast routes between stars. But sublight travel, slow and painful, could go anywhere. His communicator buzzed. It was Thek, and the auditor sounded excited. My lord, we found something. The maintenance records show purchases of equipment. Mining equipment, as expected. But the quantities? Lord Vrakis, they've bought enough drilling lasers to hollow out entire moons. Where is this equipment now? According to their records, it all broke down and was scrapped. Every single piece. Over 20 years, they've apparently had the worst equipment failure rate in galactic history. Vrakis' mandibles spread in what humans might mistake for a smile. It wasn't. They're building something. Alert the fleet. I want the Earth system locked down. Nothing comes in or out without inspection. My lord, that will take time. The nearest battle fleet is 3 systems away. Then, send what we have. The local patrol ships will do for now. He paused, and Thek began scanning for hidden facilities. If the humans have been stealing from the Empire, they must be hiding it somewhere. Unknown to Vrakis, his every word was being transmitted to a hidden bunker 5 miles beneath Earth's surface. General Morrison sat in the command center, surrounded by humanity's best military minds. The walls showed dozens of screens, tracking Krellian movements across the solar system. He's smarter than the usual tax collector, observed Colonel Singh. Most of them just take bribes and leave. Vrakis has a military background, Morrison replied. He thinks like a soldier, not a bureaucrat. That makes him dangerous. Sir, the patrol ships are moving to blockade positions, reported Captain Williams. 6 corvettes. Nothing our defense platforms can't handle, but if they call for reinforcements. How long until the battle fleet arrives? 72 hours if they push their engines. Morrison did the math. 72 hours until a full Krellian battle fleet arrived. 100 ships, maybe more. Earth's hidden defenses could hurt them, maybe even win. But the planet would be devastated in the fighting. Billions would die. Send word to the stations, he ordered. Tell them we may need to accelerate the timeline. Sir, Jupiter Station reports they can be combat ready in 12 hours. The others need at least 24. Then, we pray Vrakis doesn't find anything for 24 hours. On the other side of Earth, Sarachin met with her real boss. Admiral Zhang commanded Earth's hidden fleet, 300 warships built in secret and hidden in underwater bases. Small ships compared to what waited in deep space, but deadly in their own right. Vrakis is focusing on the mining records, Chen reported. I've given him enough real data, mixed with the false, to keep him busy. But he's ordered deep scans. Our facilities are shielded, Zhang said. But if they look hard enough, they'll find something. A power signature. A heat bloom. Something that doesn't match a dead mine. Zhang nodded grimly. Begin evacuation protocols for the coastal cities. If we have to fight, I want civilians out of the target zones. That will raise questions. Say it's a drill. Earthquake preparedness. Anything. Just get our people away from the fighting. Chen saluted and left. Zhang turned to his tactical display. 300 ships against 6 corvettes would be easy. 300 ships against a full battle fleet would be bloody. But if the planet-sized warships arrived in time, in deep space, Admiral Zara Chun stood on Jupiter Station's bridge. The massive warship was coming alive around her. Weapons powering up. Shields charging. 20,000 crew members moving to battle positions. Ma'am, we're receiving updates from Earth, Lieutenant Torres reported. The Krellians suspect something. They're calling for reinforcements. How long? 70 hours until their battle fleet arrives. Zara turned to her senior officers. Options. We could jump now, suggested Commander Park. Hit the patrol ships before they know what's happening. And reveal ourselves before the other stations are ready, countered Captain Williams. We'd be fighting alone. Jupiter Station could take their entire battle fleet, Park insisted. Maybe, but Earth would still burn in the crossfire. Zara shook her head. We wait. 24 hours for all stations to be ready. Then, we move together. Ma'am, the sensor operator called out. I'm detecting Krellian scan beams sweeping the outer system. They're looking for something. Let them look. Our cloak is perfect. They could fly right past us and never know. She hoped that was true. The cloaking technology was humanity's greatest achievement, bending space itself to hide the massive stations. But it had never been tested against a determined search by military scanners. Alert all stations. Maintain silent running. No active sensors. No communications except through quantum entanglement. We're going dark. Back on Earth, Vrakis studied the scan results with growing frustration. Nothing. Just empty space and dead rocks. But his instincts screamed that the humans were hiding something. Lord Vrakis, Thek entered, holding a new report. We found an anomaly. Several mining sites show power usage far exceeding what their reported operations would require. How much excess? Enough to run a small city, my lord. Yet according to their reports, these are simple or extraction facilities. Vrakis stood. Prepare my shuttle. We're going to visit one of these mines personally. My lord, is that wise? If the humans are planning something, then I'll face it like a warrior, not cower behind walls like a bureaucrat. He checked his sidearm, an old habit from his military days. Besides, what could humans possibly have that threatens a Krellian? The mine was located in the Rocky Mountains, a place called Cheyenne. As Vrakis' shuttle approached, everything looked normal. Worn buildings, old equipment, a few hundred human workers going about their business. Too normal, too perfect, like a stage set for a play. Scan the mountain, he ordered. My lord, the rock contains heavy metals. Our scanners can't penetrate deeply. Convenient. Land us at the main facility. The mine administrator, a nervous man named Johnson, met them at the landing pad. Lord Vrokis, we weren't expecting a personal visit. I'm afraid we're not prepared. Good. I prefer to see operations as they truly are. Vrokis pushed past him. Show me your power generators. The generators? Of course, my lord. Right this way. The generators were massive, far too large for a simple mining operation. Vrokis ran his hand along one humming unit. These could power a battleship. Why does a mine need battleship-grade generators? The drilling equipment requires significant power, my lord. Human technology is inefficient. Indeed, Vrokis drew his weapon in one smooth motion, pointing it at Johnson's head. Shall we try again? What are you really doing here? Johnson's fear evaporated. The nervous administrator straightened, and suddenly, Vrokis was looking at a soldier. You really want to know? I insist. Johnson smiled. It was not a pleasant smile. We're building the guns that will free our world. Computer, authorization code, Chinalpha 7. Dropped the hollow field. The walls flickered and disappeared. Vrokis found himself standing not in a mine, but in a vast underground factory. Assembly lines stretched into the distance. Workers in military uniforms moved with purpose. And on those assembly lines, weapons, Vrokis breathed. You're building weapons. Fighter craft, to be specific, Johnson said. Would you like the full tour? Vrokis' mind raced. This facility alone could produce hundreds of fighters. If the humans had more sites like this, the Empire will burn this world to glass. They'll try. Johnson's smile widened. Computer, show our guest the defense grid. A hologram appeared, showing Earth surrounded by hidden satellites. Hundreds of them, each one bristling with weapons Vrokis didn't recognize. Particle cannons, Johnson explained, designed specifically to punch through Krellian shields. We've had 20 years to study your technology, find its weaknesses. Impossible. Humans don't have the science for this. Humans learn fast when survival is at stake. Your empire made one mistake, Vrokis. You left us alive. Desperate, angry, and alive. That's a dangerous combination. Vrokis raised his weapon higher. I should kill you now. You could try. But the moment you fired, 300 defense turrets would turn you into vapor. You're not leaving this facility, Vrokis. None of you are. For the first time in his life, Vrokis felt real fear. Not of the weapons pointed at him, but of what he'd discovered. The humans hadn't just built a few fighters. They'd built an entire war machine in secret. And if they had weapons specifically designed to kill Krellians. You've been planning this from the beginning, he said. The submission, the mining. All of it was a lie. Not a lie, Johnson corrected. A strategy. Sun Tzu wrote about it thousands of years ago. All warfare is based on deception. You thought you conquered us. In reality, you gave us time to prepare. The battle fleet will arrive in 70 hours. They'll reduce this world to rubble. They'll try, Johnson repeated, but they'll have to get past our defenses first. And our friends. Friends. Johnson's smile grew even wider. You didn't really think we'd put all our eggs in one basket, did you? Earth is just the visible part, the part you were meant to see. Our real strength is elsewhere. Vrokis' communicator buzzed urgently. Thek's voice, panicked and confused. My lord, the patrol ships, they're reporting massive energy signatures in the outer system. 607, Lord Vrokis, they're reading objects the size of moons. Johnson checked his watch. Looks like the Admiral got tired of waiting. You picked the wrong day to audit us, tax collector. In space, the cloaks dropped. Jupiter's station materialized first, a metallic moon bristling with weapons. Then Mars station, Mercury, Neptune, Pluto, 5 artificial planets, each one a fortress of unimaginable power. The Krellian patrol ships, tiny corvettes designed to police merchant traffic, found themselves facing war machines that dwarfed anything in the Imperial fleet. Their commanders had seconds to process the impossible sight before Admiral Zarachun gave the order. All stations, target the patrol ships. Disable, don't destroy. We want survivors to spread the word. The planet killers remained silent. This didn't require that level of force. Instead, thousands of smaller guns spoke as one. Beams of coherent energy, projectiles moving at significant fractions of light speed, missiles that bent space around them to avoid interception. The patrol ships never had a chance. Their shields, designed to handle pirates and smugglers shattered like glass. Their hulls, built for speed not battle, crumpled under the barrage. In less than 30 seconds, 6 Krellian vessels were reduced to drifting hulks. Rescue shuttles deployed, reported Lieutenant Torres. We'll collect the survivors. Good. Make sure they see everything. The weapons, the fighters, the scale of what we've built. Zara turned to her communications officer. Open a channel to the Krellian battle fleet. Let's introduce ourselves properly. 3 systems away, Fleet Commander Krax stared at the impossible sensor readings. Planet-sized warships. Human planet-sized warships. It couldn't be real. It had to be a sensor ghost, a malfunction. Then, the communication came through. A human female, wearing an admiral's uniform, sitting on a bridge that looked more advanced than anything in the Imperial fleet. Fleet Commander Krax, I am Admiral Chun of the Terran Defense Force. I'm calling to offer you a choice. Turn your fleet around and report to your empire that humanity is no longer a subject species, or continue to Earth and face the consequences. You dare threaten the empire? Krax snarled. One lucky ambush against patrol craft means nothing. The Imperial fleet will crush your pathetic rebellion. This isn't a rebellion, Commander. It's a revolution. Chen's image was replaced by tactical data. You command 112 ships. We have 5 stations, each one capable of engaging your entire fleet simultaneously. Run the numbers. Krax did. The math was horrifying. If the sensor data was accurate, each human station outmassed his entire fleet. The weapon counts were impossible. The energy readings suggested power generation beyond even Krellian capital ships. You're bluffing. Humans couldn't build such things. Couldn't we? Chun reappeared. For 20 years, you've taken 90% of our mining output. Did you ever wonder what we could build with the other 10%? Did you ever ask why a species that went from fire to fusion in 3 centuries was so easy to conquer? Because you're weak. Because we chose to appear weak. There's a difference. Chun leaned forward. Here's what's going to happen, Commander. You're going to return to Krellian space. You're going to tell the Emperor that humanity has withdrawn from the Empire. Any Krellian ships entering human space will be considered hostile and destroyed. The Emperor will send 1,000 ships. Then, we'll destroy 1,000 ships. We have planet killers, Commander. Weapons that can crack worlds like eggs. How many core worlds is the Emperor willing to lose? The tactical display showed one of the stations. Weapon ports began glowing with terrible light. The power readings made Krax's threat sacks contract with involuntary fear. I'll give you 1 hour to begin your withdrawal, Chun said. After that, we'll come to you. And, Commander, we've been very patient for 20 years. That patience is now ended. The transmission cut off. Krax stared at the dark screen, his mind racing. The Empire had ruled for 1,000 years. No species had ever successfully rebelled. But no species had ever hidden planet-sized warships either. He thought of Rockies, probably dead on Earth. The tax collector had been right to be suspicious. The humans had fooled them all. And now, sir, his second-in-command waited for orders. Shall we advance? Krax looked at the sensor readings again. 5 moons of metal and death. Weapons that could end worlds. And, behind them, who knew what else the humans had built? Send word to the Empire, he said quietly. Tell them we have a problem. Emperor Vrex the Eternal sat on his throne of polished bone and tried to understand the impossible. For 1,000 years, his ancestors had ruled the galaxy from this chamber. The walls displayed trophies from conquered species. The floor was inlaid with star maps showing the Empire's vast reach. Everything in this room spoke of absolute power. Everything except the report in his claws. Read it again, he commanded his advisor, Chancellor Thrak. The part about the weapons. Thrak's voice trembled as he read. 5 battle stations, each the size of a planetary body. Estimated weapon count per station. 50 capital-class energy projectors capable of planetary destruction. 70,000 Feinterkraft. 10,000 bombercraft. Shield generators of unknown design. Power output exceeding our largest dreadnoughts by a factor of 1,000. And they built these in secret, while pretending to be miners. It appears so, Divine One. The humans spent 20 years misdirecting our administrators. Every ton of, or we thought, went to our foundries. They kept 9 tons for themselves. Vrex's tail lashed, knocking over a priceless artifact. He didn't notice. Where is tax collector Vrakis? I want to hear from him personally how he missed planet-sized warships being built. Vrakis is detained on Earth, Divine One. The humans are holding him and his staff as guests until negotiations are complete. Negotiations? Vrek stood, his massive form towering over the council. The Empire does not negotiate with rebels. Divine One, Fleet Marshal Craxus, stepped forward. Perhaps we should consider the situation carefully. These stations represent a significant threat. If the humans have weapons capable of destroying planets, then we'll destroy them first. Vrex roared. Assemble the Grand Fleet. Every warship within 10 systems. We'll remind these humans why the Empire has ruled for a millennium. That would be 1,500 ships, Divine One. It will take time to gather such a force. Then begin immediately, and send word to our subject species. Any who trade with humanity will be considered enemies of the Empire. On Earth, the mood was very different. For the first time in 20 years, humans walked with their heads high. The secret was out. The Empire knew, and humanity was ready. General Morrison stood before the Global Defense Council. Leaders from every nation attended virtually, their faces showing a mix of excitement and fear. The Krellian battle fleet has withdrawn to the Centauri system, Morrison reported. Our intelligence suggests they're waiting for reinforcements. We estimate 2 to 3 weeks before they move against us. Can we win? Asked President Chun of the Pacific Federation. Our war game suggests yes, but at great cost. The planet stations can destroy their fleet, but Earth will take damage. Millions could die. What about a preemptive strike? Suggested Prime Minister Singh of the Indian Alliance. Hit them before they're ready. Admiral Chun advises against it. We're not conquerors. We're defending our freedom. Attacking first changes the narrative. Speaking of narrative, Chancellor Mueller of the European Union leaned forward. What about the other subject species? There are dozens of races under Krellian rule. Can we rally them to our cause? Morrison smiled. Already in progress. We've been in secret contact with the Altarians, the Vergoth, and the Saurians. They're watching to see if we can actually hurt the Empire. If we win the first battle decisively, they'll rise up too, President Chun finished. The Empire will face rebellions on multiple fronts. Exactly. But first, we need to survive the Grand Fleet. In deep space, Admiral Zara Chun reviewed the battle plans for the 100th time. Jupiter Station's tactical center was a hive of activity. Officers ran simulations, weapons crews drilled endlessly, and engineers fine-tuned systems that had never seen real combat. The Krellians will likely use their standard formation, her tactical officer, Commander Park, explained. A sphere of ships designed to envelop and overwhelm. It's worked for them for centuries. Because they've never faced weapons that can kill 100 ships with one shot, Zara replied. How many planet crackers can we charge before they arrive? All of them, if we push the reactors. But, Admiral, using planet killers against a fleet. Send a message. The Empire responds only to strength. We need to hit them so hard that they'll think twice about ever threatening Earth again. Ma'am, Lieutenant Torres interrupted. Priority signal from Mercury Station. Captain Roberts reports unusual activity near the sun. Define unusual. Solar flares, but in patterns that seem artificial. As if something is manipulating the star's magnetic field. Zara frowned. Solar manipulation was theoretical at best. Could the Krellians have weapons we don't know about? Unknown, ma'am. But Mercury Station is closest to the phenomenon. Should they investigate? Negative. All stations maintain position. If it's a trap, I don't want to separate it. The mystery deepened 12 hours later when the solar activity suddenly ceased. In its place, a message appeared, broadcast on frequencies only humans would recognize. Ancient Earth music. Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Someone saying hello, Communications Officer Williams reported. The signal originates from inside the sun's corona. Inside, Zara stood. Nothing can survive inside a star. Apparently something can, Admiral, and it's hailing us. Put it through. The main screen flickered to life, showing a figure that made everyone gasp. It was human, or at least humanoid, but transformed. The being's skin seemed to be made of living metal, eyes that burned like stars, a presence that radiated power. Greetings, children of Earth. The figure spoke, its voice carrying harmonics that resonated in their bones. I am Prometheus. I was once like you. Human. Born on Earth. But I left long ago to explore the universe, to evolve. When Zara found her voice. When did you leave? By your calendar, 200 years ago. I was part of the first-generation ship, the one you thought was lost. We weren't lost. We found something. Something that changed us. Change how? Prometheus smiled, and stars seemed to dance in that expression. We learned that consciousness can transcend flesh, that minds can merge with the fundamental forces of the universe. We became more than human. We became eternal. Why return now? Zara asked, though she suspected the answer. Because our children need us. We've watched Earth for decades. Watched you suffer under the Empire. Watched you plan and build and hope. We're proud of what you've accomplished. But the Krellians are bringing more than ships. The screen changed, showing scan data beyond anything human technology could produce. In the heart of the approaching Grand Fleet, something massive lurked. A weapon that dwarfed even the planet stations. The World Breaker, Prometheus explained. The Empire's ultimate sanction. A device that doesn't just destroy planets. It unravels them at the quantum level. Erases them from existence. Silence filled the command center. Then, Park spoke. Can our shield stop it? No. Nothing you've built can stop the World Breaker. Which is why we've come home. Prometheus spread his arms. There are 50 of us. Human minds evolved into something greater. We can't fight their ships, but we can protect Earth. How? By wrapping your world in a bubble of twisted space-time. The World Breaker's quantum beam will simply slide off. But we can only protect Earth itself. Your stations, your fleet, they'll have to handle the Grand Fleet alone. Zara processed this. Humanity's lost children returned as gods. It sounded like madness, but the evidence was undeniable. Something was living in the sun, something powerful enough to manipulate stellar forces. What do you need from us? She asked. Just fight. Show the galaxy that humanity won't kneel. We'll handle the rest. The transmission ended, leaving the command center in stunned silence. Finally, Torres spoke. Did we just get a visit from space angels? Space humans, Zara corrected. Abubomans. Which means if they could do it. She left the thought unfinished, but everyone understood. If humans could evolve to that level, what else were they capable of? 3 days later, long-range sensors detected the Grand Fleet approaching. 1,500 Krellian warships, the largest armada ever assembled. At its center, the World Breaker hung like a metallic cancer, its surface covered in fractal patterns that hurt to perceive. All stations report ready, Williams announced. Planet crackers charged. All fighters launched. Defense grids online. Earth? Zara asked. General Morrison reports ready. 300 ships deployed. Continental shields at maximum. Williams paused. And, Admiral, we're detecting that solar activity again. It's moving toward Earth. On the tactical display, impossible energies flowed from the sun. Invisible to normal sensors, but blazing on gravitational detectors. The evolved humans were taking position. Open a channel to the Grand Fleet, Zara ordered. When Emperor Vrex himself appeared